One Zambia, One Nation, and thanks for joining us for Zanis News. To present, my name is Juliet Mtale. The headlines: distribution of desks, mattresses, beds to 5 provinces. Government calls for replacement of plastics with degradable materials. Roads in Chavuma to receive facelift using CDF. St. Luke Mpasha Mission Hospital Mortuary commissioned. And now the news in detail. President Hakainde Hichilema has elevated Brigadier General Humphrey Nyone in the Zambia Army to Lieutenant General. Lieutenant General Nyone was recently appointed as Force Commander to the United Nations mission to the Central African Republic. Mr. Hichilema urged Lieutenant General Nyone to go and exercise professionalism by abiding by the rules and regulations of the United Nations. The head of state, who is also Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, said this at a promotion ceremony for Lieutenant General Nyone at State House. Here are the details.
President Hakainde Hichilema has elevated Brigadier General Humphrey Nyone in the Zambia Army to Lieutenant General. Lieutenant General Nyone was recently appointed as Force Commander to the United Nations mission to the Central African Republic. Mr. Hichilema called on Lieutenant General Nyone to go and exercise professionalism by abiding by the rules and regulations of the UN. The head of state said this during a ceremony at State House.
Please accept, on behalf of the nation, our heartfelt congratulations, deeply felt congratulations. We say this with pride as citizens that you have been elevated to this level. Secondly, that you are proceeding to lead a UN force, a UN peacekeeping force in the Central African Republic. This is the highest level, highest honor as a country we have received from the UN system as members of the UN to lead this force at this level. So we're proud of you. We're confident that you'll discharge your duties diligently, as always, as expected. Please remember, you represent 20 million Zambians. You represent the African continent. You represent the global community in that special mission.
And General Nyone expressed gratitude and promised to do the best.
Mr. President, to elevate me to the rank of Lieutenant General. I know the challenge is huge. The expectations are huge as well, from not only the government, but from Africa as well and the UN. But there's no challenge that is insurmountable. I will do my best, first and foremost, to uplift the name of this nation, as well as the Defense Force. So I'm humbled by this gesture and I work to the best of my abilities.
And UN Permanent Representative Chola Milambo said the appointment has come due to the discipline among Zambian soldiers.
Global community of peacekeepers. We've been in peacekeeping for many years, from 1989 when we first went into Iraq in pursuit of peace. Now we have, but we've been at the lower ranks, and now we're at the topmost level of peacekeeping in one of the UN missions. It is our prayer that the UN will continue to look at Zambia as a peacekeeping force. And I must point out that one of the reasons why we're standing here and celebrating this moment is really because of our disciplined soldiers. The discipline of our soldiers is what brings us all here. The UN has looked to us to say that, look, if we can have more Zambians in the peacekeeping force, then we have a much more disciplined force. We need to take a moment to celebrate this moment because it shows that Zambia is one of the most disciplined has one of the most disciplined soldiers that there are in the peacekeeping force.
For Zanis in Lusaka, I am Sunday Warrior.
The Minister of Education, Douglas Yakalima, has flagged off the dispatch of 500 single-seater desks 352 mattresses and 176 bunker beds to the recently opened Ikelenge boarding school in northwestern province. Mr. Siakalima has also flagged off the distribution of single mattresses to various schools in Lusaka, Central, Northern and Copperbelt provinces. He says his ministry is ready to meet the presidential directive of ensuring that no child sits on the floor by the end of the year. President Hakainde Hichilema's directive of ensuring that no child sits on the floor by December 2023 is being adhered to, and the Ministry of Education has already hit the road running by delivering desks to schools countrywide. Today, the ministry flagged off and President Hakainde Hichilema's directive of ensuring that no child sits on the floor by December 2023 is being adhered to, and the Ministry of Education has already hit the road running by delivering desks to schools countrywide. Today, the ministry flagged off and dispatched desks and mattresses to various schools, among them Ikelenge Boarding School in Northwestern Province, which was opened in March this year.
The Ministry of Education has also engaged trade schools to help accelerate the rehabilitation of desks, and through CDF, desks are being purchased to ensure children learn with dignity and pride. This exercise is cheaper and more efficient and will ensure more desks are delivered to the deserving students on time. We have distributed 3,209 double-seater desks to 31 schools and 4,880 doubles and chairs to 26 schools regardless of the location of the school. With only a few months before deadline, we have decided to challenge ourselves as a ministry by declaring that we will beat the deadline and deliver by November 2023.
Ministry of Education Permanent Secretary for Administration, Noriana Muneku, also witnessed the distribution.
Kudos to all of you. From the time we were last here, Honorable Minister, from the time we were last here launching desks, they've never stopped working. We've realized that over the years, over many years, there are a lot of broken desks throughout the country in all schools, and we've decided to mop up all those broken desks, and I've decided we'll refurbish them.
At the same event, Mr. Siakalima clarified that the 65 million kwacha, which the state collected from journalist Faith Musonda, was used for school bursaries.
In fact, after we were given that 65 million, we had 2,780 students. And they are on record. I've just asked the health director, I said, print, in case people are going to say that, do they exist? If this money went missing and it was stolen, then it's the students we took who stole. Get them out of school. Let's get them out of school. And you see the roughness from their own parents. People must appreciate what somebody does. The president just said this whole money goes into the University of Zambia.
Indeed, the education sector drives long-term economic growth, spurs innovation, strengthens institutions, and fosters social cohesion. Wope Sendo for Zanis News in Lusaka. Permanent Secretary Mighty Mumba says government is working on ways of ensuring that the successes recorded under the Natwampani project are consolidated beyond the donor support. Speaking when a team from Natwampani called on him at his office, Mr. Mumba indicated that even as the support from the donors is coming to an end in November this year, government is already putting in place measures of ensuring that the project is carried forward. Mr. Mumba has observed that the Natwampani project in the region has helped reduce cases of sexual and gender-based violence. He disclosed that government will put all those working under the Natwampani project on government payroll to ensure continuity of the project, and thanked all the partners. And Natwampani acting project manager Nimbit Sayaz has commended government for taking full ownership of the project. Here are the details.
Successful story, and we would want it to continue beyond November when the support that we've been getting from our partners come to an end. Yes, there are key people. The police, psychosocial counselors are there. There are those that are on payroll, government payroll, and those that are not on government payroll. We would want even those that are not on government payroll to be incorporated so that the team continues to operate the way the program was designed.
Professionals, drivers, and the VSU officer, all those are on the government payroll. We are really grateful, and as I said earlier, this by itself shows the commitment from the government side when it comes to this work on gender-based violence prevention and response. And I would like to say thank you so much once again.
The Ministry of Mines Permanent Secretary Hapinga Kabeta has warned that the illegal mining in Mukushi will have devastating short to long-term impact on economic development in the area. Mr. Kabeta said unlicensed mining is retrogressive to economic development and deprive the state from acquiring the tax revenue, adding that illegal mining does not contribute to raising the gross domestic product (GDP) of the country. He said this during a visit to the Regional Mining Bureau in Mukushi District. Dr. Kabeta added that illegal mining activities are the least in adherence to safety measures that pertain to mining industry and are linked to the damage of the environment. Dr. Kabeta further stressed that his office is encouraging small-scale miners in Mukushi to formalize their licensing for mining. We now take a break, but still to come, government calls for replacement of plastics with degradable materials. Stay tuned.
The government of Zambia and the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, COMESA, will this June host the 22nd Summit of COMESA Heads of State and Government at the Mulungushi International Conference Center, Lusaka. The summit will take place on Thursday, the 8th of June 2023. The COMESA Summit will be preceded by the 18th meeting of Ministers of Foreign Affairs on Tuesday, 6th June, and the COMESA Business Forum on Wednesday, 7th of June 2023. The theme of the summit is Economic Integration for a Thriving COMESA, anchored on green investment, value addition, and tourism. Delegates from the 21 COMESA member states and beyond are expected to attend the COMESA Summit in Lusaka. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Information and Media and COMESA.
Welcome back. In Northern Province Permanent Secretary Bernard Mpundu has called for the need to replace plastics with degradable materials such as paper bags. Mr. Mpundu said this when he graced the commemorations of the World Environment Day under the theme Beat Plastic Pollution. Christine Mseluna reports.
Plastic pollution is becoming a major source of concern in the country. It is for this reason that this year's commemoration of World Environment Day has been coined to highlight the problem of plastic pollution.
In line with this year's World Environment Day theme, which is Beat Plastic Pollution, we've come together and lined up activities. So this is one of the activities we came together to clean this drainage. This is the main drainage in Kulungu, and it has not escaped from the serious threats of plastic pollution. You can see a lot of plastics that have been dumped into this canal, and these plastics eventually end up in Lake Tanganyika, and you can imagine the effects that it has on the fish in the lake.
The World Environment Day Organizing Committee has also been conducting sensitization programs to educate the public on plastic pollution.
Plastic is a problem. Plastic. Numuntu nawenga wakwata ukupalamira ni plastic limwe wamwa manzi mu plastic chali chifi chachiko TV kui amafu anga panono mpaka alwala nukufa iza tauli aizafwa. So tukulonda monsi munchende muno mutenzi mwikala usaka bipepa la byonsi bitafuri kula palamino mupipi namwe
ture mikosele shafyo kutira chapa motubombere pamo umuntu okutiranga mwasanga fyaka kopo mwakatola mwakaposa bali abakanso besa mu kusembera bakutira ati batutwala kulya nga twaponena mu menshi nga mwakasha panshi kakasendwa na mulamba kaya pamenshi nga kaya pamenshi limbi temwe mu kalwala limbi ni bururu wenu akalwala.
And the residents who were reached out with messages have expressed happiness with such activities.
Every weekend
Christine Mselu reporting for Zanis in Impulu.
Still in Environment Day news, the indiscriminate disposal of plastic materials has remained problematic, and Eastern Province has not been spared. The Zambia Integrated Forest Landscape Project in Eastern Province is worried that the uncontrolled disposal of plastics is causing environmental damage, particularly in water bodies, agriculture, and a serious threat to livestock. More in this report by Jebel Zulu.
Today is World Environmental Day, and the global effort is towards preventing plastic pollution. In Eastern Province of Zambia, the uncontrolled disposal of plastic remains a huge challenge, which both government and other stakeholders are concerned about. The Zambia Integrated Forest Landscape Project, ZIFIL, which is a government project supported by the World Bank, is equally worried about the harmful effects of plastics on the natural environment.
Because if we just throw them here, they will affect our rivers. If we throw plastics in our river here, you find all the fish will be eating the plastics and like that. If we throw plastics along the road here, all these animals, the goats, the cattle will start eating the plastics, and they also have affect livestock production. And the way we throw plastics here, it also pollutes the water which we use for drinking. And especially in Chipata here, you see that the dump site is near the river there, and a lot of plastics are going into the stream, which is now going into the Kwakwa River, and that's why it's a source of our water there.
The project believes that the establishment of a local plastic recycling facility is part of the answer to this problem.
All these containers of water, the containers for maheo, we can start using them, recycling them, or use them for another product, so that we reduce pollution of our environment. Otherwise, plastics are not good, but they are a danger to our lives here. So we call upon all private sector to start thinking of how to recycle plastics, and also people to avoid dumping plastics anyhow, because dumping plastics is polluting our environment.
And the Tobacco Free Association of Zambia wants government to strengthen the legal framework on disposal of plastic materials.
It is a day making and reminding global citizens of the continuous negative impact of global warming and climate change. Loss of life, properties, biodiversity, and even resources are just some of the effects of climate change as a result of environmental ignorance.
Jubilee Zulu, Zanis, Chipata District, Eastern Province.
And in Southern Province, Provincial Minister Cornelius Mwetwa has reiterated his directive on the police command in the province to keep the escalating cattle rustling in Joma and the entire region. Mr. Mortuary fears that if the situation is not contained, it may frustrate the efforts of the farmers who are positively contributing to the country's economy. And the minister was speaking when he met commercial farmers during his tour of inspecting Constituency Development Fund, CDF Projects in Sibanyati area in Joma District. Mike Munkongwe now reports.
Despite being known for its high maize production, Southern Province is equally known to have over 3 million cattle. But cattle theft is becoming rampant day by day across the province, including Sibanyati area of Choma District. Farmers are ever complaining.
And there's all sorts of problems. And it's, when we say security, yes.
But Southern Province Minister Cornelius Mwetwa wants police to swing into action to curb the vice.
And I have called on the police and I do reiterate, for police to put their money where their mouth is, I have asked police to swing into action.
The minister later inspected a deep tank and a house for a camp officer being constructed using the 2022 CDF allocation.
This deep tank is going to benefit quite a number of farmers, because here, this area, doesn't have any.
For the first time,
we are happy that we have a house for a camp officer now. Our animals will be well taken care of.
Mr. Mwetwa understands the goodness of CDF.
So CDF has come to change the lives of our people. CDF has come to change the life of our farmers. CDF has come to change the way we do economic activities such as farming. And when we construct deep tanks like this, it means we're on the right, trajectory to controlling animal diseases.
Animals such as cattle around this Sibanyat area have been facing a lot of challenges in terms of dipping. But with the coming of the increased Constituency Development Fund, this deep tank is under construction to alleviate the problem. Mike Munkombwe, Zanis, in Sibanyati area, Choma District, Southern Province.
In Muchinga Province, Ministry of Information and Media Permanent Secretary Kennedy Kalunga says government will ensure that Zambia News and Information Services, Zanis, is supported with modern equipment. Mr. Kalunga says as the department will soon launch its own television channel, there is need for officers to be equipped with all the necessary tools. Mr. Kalunga was speaking when he handed over 5 laptops and set of public address system to Zanis Muchinga Province office yesterday. Details in this report.
He is in Muchinga Province to hand over the equipment to the Zambia News and Information Services. Information and Media Permanent Secretary Kenneth Kalunga says it is government's desire to ensure that all the 116 districts where Zanis offices are present are equipped with tools to help officers deliver effectively.
You have challenges, yes, I've heard on transport. We're looking into that transport from Muchinga sooner or later. If we buy some vehicles, we'll return your vehicle. So we want you now to do the work effectively. Let's show what government is doing. Government is releasing funds equally, and as a ministry, we've distributed the provincial tools to the provinces equally, all the 10 provinces. Muchinga, you are receiving yours today.
The office is thankful for the equipment received and further assured the PS that officers will deliver as expected.
The laptops will also help the DIOs in the districts to do their work on time. Yes, we are hoping also the cameras will come. Currently, we have some DIOs who have come up with the content for our TV channel. They are ready to start producing the programs, but because they don't have cameras, it's a challenge.
Earlier, Acting Provincial Information Officer Innocent Daka shared some of the challenges the office is faced with.
This is actually where we have a lot of inadequacies in terms of public address system, news gathering equipment, cameras. Most of the districts don't. Our vehicle has been down for the last 7 months.
Among the equipment received are 5 laptops to be distributed to districts within the province and a public address system. Pamela Inamba reporting for Zanis in Chinsali, Muchinga Province.
Thank you, Pamela, for that report. Still ahead in the news, roads in Chavuma to receive first lift using CDF. We take a break.
The government of Zambia and the Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, COMESA, will this June host the 22nd Summit of COMESA Heads of State and Government at the Mulungushi International Conference Center, Lusaka. The summit will take place on Thursday, the 8th of June 2023. The COMESA Summit will be preceded by the 18th meeting of Ministers of Foreign Affairs on Tuesday, 6th June, and the COMESA Business Forum on Wednesday, 7th of June 2023. The theme of the summit is Economic Integration for a Thriving COMESA, anchored on green investment, value addition, and tourism. Delegates from the 21 COMESA member states and beyond are expected to attend the COMESA Summit in Lusaka. This message is brought to you by the Ministry of Information and Media and COMESA.
Welcome back. Chavuma Member of Parliament Victor Lumai says government will soon start repairing and grading roads in Chavuma district in Northwestern Province. Speaking after touring some selected roads in Chavuma East, Mr. Lumai notes the importance of rehabilitating and upgrading of their dilapidated road networks as they are key in service delivery. The area member of parliament has since engaged the Zambia National Service to foster the exercise of repairing and upgrading the roads with funding from CDF and from the central government. More in this report.
Chavuma Area Member of Parliament Victor Lumai, in the company of Chavuma Town Council Secretary Isaac Kangombe and ZNS officers, have toured some of the essential yet dilapidated roads on the east bank of the district, in a bid to assess on how best the roads can be upgraded in order to ensure effective service delivery is attained in all parts of the district.
Fulfilling the mandate as per instruction by my President Hakainde Hichilema, we have embarked on a mission to grade all the roads in Chavuma East Bank, other roads in the district. Therefore, today we were doing the assessment on the roads to be worked on by the Zambia National Service. And as the people of Zambia may be aware that since independence, the people of Chavuma have had this challenge of bad road network since the President's instruction to work on the roads, and I as Member of Parliament had nothing but to fulfill the instructions of my President.
And Council Secretary Isaac Kangombe says once the roads are maintained, it will be easy for the local authority in the area to deliver services in the community.
Once they're opened, it will be very easy for the local authority to deliver services to the community. Each community will be reached because the roads will be opened. So we want to urge the community to work hand in hand with the local authority.
Meanwhile, the civic leader present has appreciated government's effort in developing the district.
Happy that once these roads are opened, our people of Chavuma will be so happy to appreciate the efforts of the Newton government.
Josephine Banda reporting for Zanis, Chavuma district in Northwestern Province.
And in our health segment, government has commissioned St. Luke's Pasha Mission Hospital Mortuary and Mourners Shelter in Rufunsa district worth 1 million kwacha. Lusaka Province Minister Shiu Muliata commissioned the project yesterday, constructed under the Constituency Development Fund CDF 2022 allocation. Details in this report by Jonathan Mukuka.
For people of Rufunsa, they proudly sing the national anthem at a special occasion to commission a mortuary constructed at a cost of 1 million kwacha under the Constituency Development Fund CDF 2022 allocation. From this old mortuary and mourners shelter, Mompansha Mission Hospital now has a new mortuary and a new mourners shelter. Area Member of Parliament, who is also Lusaka Province Minister Shimuliata, is guest of honor at this commissioning ceremony.
Mortuary and Mourners Shelter, whose construction began on 12th October 2022 and costed about 1 million kwacha, is before us here. You can see this. Newly constructed mortuary and Mourners Shelter at St. Luke's Mission Hospital was financed through the 2022 Constituency Development Fund and will be greatly expand the number of bodies that the hospital can keep at the mortuary.
Kenneth Mylon is Rufunsa Council Chairperson.
This is as the result of the visionary president, our president, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, who saw it important that the money should be decentralized to the districts.
Chieftainess Mumpasha, who spoke through our representative, is grateful to the government.
After we are humbled to the government for what the government has done for our people, finally, in our chiefdom, in our district,
New mortuary has capacity to accommodate 18 dead bodies compared to the old one, which was accommodating 3 bodies only. Jonathan reporting for Zanis News in Rufunsa, Lusaka Province.
We move to the Copperbelt Province. Provincial Minister Elisha Matambo says the church and government should continue working together in spearheading development as they have one common goal of serving the people. More in this report.
Star of Life Church in Chifu Township of Ndola District has celebrated its silver jubilee. For 25 years, the church has not only been spreading the gospel to the people, but has also been helping the vulnerable in society through various empowerment activities. The event was graced by Copperbelt Province Minister Elisha Matambo.
This is the more reason why His Excellency says we are partners with the church, and it's called upon the church to be participating in issues to do with CDF, to participate in issues to do with what I'm talking about, CEC issues, and several other issues.
Government has reaffirmed its commitment to work with the church in fostering development.
This government is not in competition with the church. We cannot be in competition with the church because we are partners in development.
I want to confirm that the Catholic Church is part and parcel of government in transforming our country and improving the lives of our people.
The church has praised government for implementing the free education policy.
The government of the day, they have brought a relief. When the government provided free education for us, I said, wow, this is a great relief. I mean, the government have think about the community. How one thing to kututula, ba tutula. To a local people school. Havana mambo ya kumasukulu. Free wale sambirira.
Nelly Bota reporting for Zanis in Ndola.
In other news, a 3-year-old girl of Senior Chief Kadilele's chiefdom in Mushindamo district in northwestern province has allegedly been defiled by a 17-year-old boy. Police Deputy Public Relations Officer Danny Mwale has confirmed to the Zambia News and Information Services and has identified the suspect as Joseph Shalupi. Mr. Mwale said the incident was reported by the victim's grandmother to St. Dorothy Police Station, stating that the incident occurred on Sunday, June 4, 2023, around 08 hours as the girl was playing with other children along the roadside when the suspect pounced on her. Other children ran away, but the suspect got hold of the victim and dragged her to a nearby bush where he defiled her. Mr. Mwale said the brother to the victim reported the matter to his grandmother, who rushed to the scene and found the suspect coming out of the bush and ran away upon seeing her. He said the victim's grandmother later found her granddaughter lying on the ground with a blood-stained dress and bleeding from the private part. She then shouted for help, which led to the arrest of the suspect by members of the community and is detained in police custody. Mr. Moles said the victim was then rushed to Kapasa Mini Hospital and found to have sustained deep cuts on her private parts and remained admitted in the hospital where she is receiving treatment. And in sports news, a non-governmental organization called Alpha Afrique Limited has embarked on sponsoring sports dubbed Mayaniko Zulu Junior Golf Tournament to help keep young people away from the social ills. Leonard Zulu, co-sponsor of the tournament, says the motive was to complement government's efforts to keep young people active through sports and keep them away from bad vices that destroy their future. Here are the details.
Monze, like many other districts across the country, face challenges of early child marriages, drug abuse, among other bad vices that ruin the future of young people. In an effort to keep youths away from these bad vices, a non-government organization has come up with a golf tournament for youths in the district.
The whole idea is that, young people are are susceptible to a lot of vices, such as drug abuse, adolescent pregnancy. So we basically want to keep them busy. This is why we sponsored this tournament, just to bring them on board.
No, it's child marriages come up as a result of not being able to do anything. Like, children don't literally have anything to do. So if these girls and boys have a sense of purpose, they have a sense of belonging, bring them here, bring them to the cause.
Co-sponsor of the tournament, Leonard Zulu, proposed the setting aside of some money under the Constituency Development Fund to facilitate renovations of some dilapidated sports infrastructure, including golf in the district.
Golf is one of the sports that has an interesting component for young people. Why don't we vie for ensuring that we include a community project under golf, so that maybe we can rehabilitate the golf course using CDF?
I don't want to call it a dying sport here, because we are trying to do our best. This is a club of about just under 20 golfers. So just to run a club under 20 golfers is not an easy thing. So our biggest cry out there is to the would-be sponsors. We are surrounded by so many companies here and there.
The youths are happy to benefit from this initiative.
About that thing is, it's more like helping us, like girls. So to avoid walking around the streets, so when we go at school, when we just knock off at school, we come here.
Indisputably, sports disciplines like golf, if well supported, has the potential to help youth stay away from bad vices that destroy their future. Frederick Macha for Zanis News in Monza District, Southern Province.
And finally, in sports news, all is set for the netball tournament scheduled to take place on 23rd June 2023 at Mansa College of Education. The netball tournament, which is being organized by the Department of Sports Development under the Ministry of Sports and Arts, has drawn participants from various institutions within Mansa District. Wapula Province Sports Development Officer Florence Kayuni says so far 8 out of 12 netball teams have confirmed participation. Kayuni told Zanis in Mansa today that she is impressed with the overwhelming response received so far towards the hosting of the tournament. She is positive that the remaining teams will also confirm participation before the tournament kicks off, and has since called on the public and other stakeholders to support the event. The Department of Sports Development in Wapula Province has embarked on a program to revive different sports activities in order to promote sports development. As we end the news, we recap on the headlines. Distribution of desks, mattresses, beds to 5 provinces kicks off. Government calls for replacement of plastics with degradable materials. Roads in Chavuma to receive facelift using CDF. St. Luke Mpasia Mission Hospital Mortuary commissioned. Thank you so much for staying with us. My name is Juliet Mtedasing. Bye-bye and God bless.